She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. Who cares anyway? Let's just talk about love. One of probably the most important theme and the central concept of the novel in itself, Wuthering Heights, is Cathy and Heathcliff's love. We should be clear on that. And certainly I'm going to begin the lecture by reading 5 or 6 quotes that are directly relevant to that love, because that's what most students want, so they can quote in their essay. And then I'm going to go on and talk about those quotes, and I'm going to go and talk about some of the other elements of true love in the novel. Of course, the most famous quote is, "I am Heathcliff. He's always, always on my mind as my own being." And usually most people use that quote somewhere in their essay, but there are other quotes. For example, let's go to page 121, where Cathy says, "He shall never know how I love him, and that, not because he's handsome, Nelly, but because he's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same." And Heathcliff says on page 131, "I've fought through a bitter life since I last heard your voice, and you must forgive me, for I struggled only for you." Let's have a look at another quote. Page 197. "You loved me. Then what right had you to leave me? Because misery and degradation and death and nothing that God or Satan could inflict would have parted us. You of your own will did it. I have not broken your heart, you have broken it. And in breaking it, you have broken mine." And then probably finally, just to round off our quotes, let's look at one from near the end, page 204. "And I pray one prayer, I repeat it till my tongue stiffens. Catherine Earnshaw, may you not rest as long as I am living. You said I killed you. Haunt me then. Oh God, it is unutterable. I cannot live without my life. I cannot live without my soul." And that's how deeply they feel about each other. And now we're going to have a look at some of the elements of romantic love around those quotes. So let's have a look at some of the elements of romantic love. And there is other love other than Heathcliff and Cathy in those pages of the novel. But it's Heathcliff and Catherine that really set the tone for the text. There is, of course, the insipid languishing of Lockwood. Hindley and Frances are together. The tame indulgence of Edgar. Isabella's romantic infatuations. Cathy and Linton's sort of childish love. Cathy and Hareton are flirtatious, I suppose. Everybody's love is weak compared to Heathcliff and Catherine. And I think it's Heathcliff and Catherine that obviously capture everybody's attention. So what is it about that relationship that makes the romantic love so important? It's a love-hate relationship. And basically, it's one of those relationships that becomes an archetype for relationships of love and hate. And every time we have a love-hate relationship in literature, we always now hark back to Catherine and Heathcliff. And it's an extremely passionate relationship. The love between those two is incomparable, probably in literature in general. They are soulmates. They are one. And the quote I read you at the start, and a couple of those quotes really, say that they are nearly the same person. They are souls together. And neither one can really rest till the other one is with them. It's interesting that two people can be really, really that close. It's like two halves of a single person being together. It's really their life force. It's what drives them. It's what motivates them. It's what makes them whole. None of the other relationships, and certainly Catherine's relationship with Edgar, never ever comes anywhere close to the relationship she has with Heathcliff. And it's a really superficial one to the deep, almost inner existence of what happens between those two. It also brings a certain sense of meaning to the novel as a whole. Without them together, the novel lacks that drive, that passion, that life force that really creates meaning in the novel, and certainly meaning in the lives of the characters around them. They are one together. And if you read chapter 9, and basically on page 64, Catherine says to Nellie, surely you and everybody have a notion that there is or should be an existence of yours beyond you. What were the use of my creation if I were entirely contained here? My great miseries in this world have been Heathcliff's miseries, and I watched and felt each from the beginning. My great thought in living is himself. If all else he perished, and he remained, I should still continue to be, and if all else remained, and he were annihilated, the universe would turn into a mighty stranger. I should not seem part of it. So the idea that the novel creates certainly life, and sort of that the idea of life force for Catherine is there, and it's certainly the same is for Heathcliff. I think their relationship also draws them out of a sense of isolation. It's a setting isolation, but it's also a physical isolation, and an isolation from the rest of the world, because their love extends beyond them and certainly transcends, I suppose, the human condition in that simplest of ways. They seem to be together, and the unity of the two makes them one. It's almost as if it's a spiritual experience, and the importance and significance of that spiritual experience drives them and makes them such a wonderful thing in relationships. And it's almost as if they can't live without each other. It's like being addicted to a drug, I suppose, that they're each other's drug, and without them they go into withdrawal and the world's not the same. So I think basically that sort of sums up what that relationship is and the power and strength of that relationship. And probably now in the next lecture we'll move on to talk about some of the other ideas and themes in Wuthering Heights. So that's all from me today. I'm Bruce Pattinson from Total Education Centre. I hope that this lecture's given you some insight into that relationship, and certainly it is one full of passion and wonder, and well worth reading the novel for. Goodbye. Well, I hope you're enjoying our series on the Bronte sisters, and especially our feature on Wuthering Heights. Don't forget, if you like what we do, have a look here, go to our website and enjoy the products. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel here, Total Education Media, and if you like us, go to Facebook, press like on Facebook, and you'll get a special offer for discounts on our products. Don't forget, look out for more in this series. See you next time.